The point of today's video is the simplest, no-brainer sign that the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel has sent into this world so that you can know without a doubt that he has sent his end-time son of Adam to you in order to set you free. The sign that I'm referring to is his 10th day of the 10th month, Ezekiel chapter 24, Scum of Israel sign. Here is what this sign tells us, starting in verse 24. As with Ezekiel, this is to be a sign to you. According to all that he has done, so shall you do. And when this sign comes to you, you can know that I am Adonai Yahweh. According to all that his end-time son of Adam has done is referring to the 5 commandments of this sign that he gave to us in the previous 2 verses. These 5 commandments are: 1. You are to cover your heads as a sign of coming under his covering. 2. You are to put your shoes on your dual feet, which means that you are to flee to his holy mountain for the time of his second exodus. 3. You are to not mourn or lament for the destruction of the bride of Christianity's make-believe images of his only begotten Son and those who refuse to flee to his place of safety with you. Rather, you are to only mourn and lament one to another for your own abominations and for the whoredoms that you have done before Yahweh's faces. 4. You are to not cover your mustache, which means that you are to cry aloud and spare not to tell others of their abominations as you flee from their midst. You are to cry out, "Unclean, unclean," on account of your leprosy and theirs. Number 5, you are to stop eating the leavened bread of men, which means that you are to stop listening to the false teachings of men and only obey Yahweh Elohim's word and the word of his mouth that he has sent into the world at this time. The leavened bread of men is everything that is not testified to by his 2 witnesses, his 2 sons of his Zechariah 4:14 holy anointing oil. Yahweh sending these 5 commandments of this sign into the world is his promise to us that he has sent the one who escapes from the captivity of Mystery Babylon and brings this sign to your dual ears. His telling us, and when this sign comes, you can know that I'm Adonai Yahweh says so. If you doubt this, he goes on in the next verse to tell us when he was going to send this sign. In verse 25 and 26. In the day when I will take from them their strength and the joy of their glory and the desires of their dual eyes and that which they tribute their lives to, and their sons and their daughters, will it not be you, son of Adam, that escapes in that day and comes to them to announce this sign to their dual ears? If you cannot acknowledge, or better yet, if you refuse to acknowledge this sign, you are indeed of the bitterly obstinate house of the scattered descendants of Israel. Plus, you are calling the word of Yahweh my Elohim, the word of the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, a lie. No one has ever brought forth this sign until he sent his end-time son of Adam with it back from Greece, because he has never allowed for anyone to do so. If he had allowed for an impostor to do so, his word would have become null and void. Folks, this sign is a no-brainer. Like his word says, it is his promise to us that he has sent the one who escapes from the captivity of the lies that he gave us over to believe into and comes to our dual ears with it. Where do you think calling the Almighty a liar is going to get you? He even tells us elsewhere that he is going to send his end-time servant Michael, his end-time son of Adam, to us from Greece. His entire word backs up the reality that he has plucked his end-time Elijah from our midst and sent me to set you free. However, you refuse to even acknowledge that you are in the captivity. Folks, the proof that he has given to us in the testimony of his word that testifies to the fact that he has sent me is impossible to refute. Your not believing this proof testifies to your disbelief of his word. I have some bad news for you. His word tells us that all unbelievers are going to have your place in the lake that burns with fire and brimstone, which is the second death.